Hello everyone, welcome to our Law Excellences Initiative Current Affairs for Beginners. Let's start our today's session. Our first article is Center Not to File Counter Affidavit on Article 35A. In this article, we'll see what is this Article 35A. In our previous videos, we have already seen what is this Article 35A. Now again, we'll see that in brief. What is this Article 35A? Article 35A of the Constitution, it empowers the Jammu and Kashmir legislature to define who are the permanent residents of that state. Who are these permanent residents? According to Article 35A, permanent resident is a person who has been a resident of the state for 10 years and has lawfully acquired the immovable property in the state. This provision of permanent resident bars the non-permanent residents from permanent settlement and to acquire the immovable property and to get the employment or undertake any trade or business in Jammu and Kashmir. This provision also says that a woman from outside the state will become a permanent resident on marrying a male permanent resident of that state, but a daughter who is born as a state subject will lose the right on marrying an outsider. Our next article is Life in Plastic. In this article, there is a mention of Environmental Protection Act. We'll see what is this act. The Environment Act of India was enacted in 1986 with an objective to provide protection and improvement of the environment. As per this act, the environment is defined as water, air and land and the interrelationship which exists among water, air and land and human beings and other living creatures, plants, microorganisms and property is defined as environment. This act was enacted by the Parliament of India under Article 253 of the Indian Constitution, and this act empowers the central government to establish authorities in order to prevent environmental pollution in all its forms. This act has given major emphasis to this environmental pollution. Environmental pollution means it is the presence of a pollutant. It can be either solid, liquid or gaseous substance in a particular amount, that means in a particular concentration which is injurious to the environment is called as environmental pollution. And according to this act has given emphasis to hazardous substances, which include substance that will cause harm to human beings, other living creatures, plants, microorganisms, property or the environment will be known as hazardous substances. The details of this act, like what are the various provisions, who will implement this act, all these will be dealt in detail in the topic videos done by our faculty. You can check those details there. In this article, we can even see there is a mention of solid waste management. We'll see what it is now. As per the solid waste management rules of 2016, solid waste means a solid or semi-solid domestic waste, sanitary waste, commercial or another non-residential waste like street sweeping, silt removed or collected from the surface drains, horticultural waste, agriculture waste, treated biomedical excluding industrial waste, e-waste, radioactive waste, all these will be considered as solid waste as per this 2016 solid waste management rules. And this activity of solid waste management will be done in 6 steps. The first one is segregation of the waste and it will be collected, and the third one is transportation of this waste and reprocessing, recycling and disposal. Our next article is familiar moorings. In this article, we have to see what is this quadrilateral grouping. This quadrilateral grouping is the strategic security dialogue between four countries. They are India, United States, Japan, and Australia. If we see the objective of this quadrilateral grouping, it was proposed by Japan in order to counter the aggressive policy of China and its rise in Indian Ocean region, and to provide alternative debt financing for countries in the Indo-Pacific region. Our next article is preventing the next health crisis. In this article, we are going to see what are these non-communicable diseases. Diseases which are non-infectious were called as non-communicable diseases. These diseases can be caused by a variety of reasons. That could be because of genetics or nutritional deficiency, age or sexual orientation of the individual, or due to the lifestyle changes that leads to stress, ignorance of healthy and proper diet. Some examples of these non-communicable diseases include cancer, diabetes, hypertension, obesity, diabetes, chronic respiratory diseases like asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. All these come under non-communicable diseases. Our next article is nitrogen emissions going up. In this article, we are going to see what is this PM 2.5. In this, the PM means particulate matter. This particulate matter is the term for the particles that were found in air, including dust, dirt, smoke, soot and liquid droplets. All these will be considered as particulate matter. Some of these particles are large, some of them were dark enough like soot or smoke, whereas some of these particles were so small that individuals can detect those only with the help of an electron microscope. So here this particulate matter of 2.5 means the particles will be less than 2.5 micrometer in diameter, and these particles are referred as fine particles that can pose greatest health risks. And if the particles are of less than 10 micrometers in diameter, they will pose a health concern because if they were inhaled, they will get accumulated in the respiratory system. Whereas this particulate matter of 2.5 size will be absorbed into the lungs and they will pass into the blood and they are very dangerous. The air quality index also measures this particulate matter 2.5. And as I have already said before, the detailed view of all these topics like what will be the effects of this particulate 2.5 and what is this pollution, what are the effects of this nitrogen emissions and key provisions of the Environmental Protection Act, all these things will be dealt in detail by the faculty. Here in this video we will only see what is this particulate matter 2.5 and what it does. Now let us see what are the questions from today's video. The Environmental Protection Act was enacted in which year? 1954, 1985, 1986, 2016. Which of the following are members of quadrilateral grouping? India, China, Russia, Japan, India, Japan, United States, China, India, Japan, Australia, Russia, India, Japan, United States and Australia. Try to answer these questions and post them in the comment box. The answers for these questions will be dealt in tomorrow's video.